go. Still getting used to these key bindings, but hey, welcome. We're here with the Diamond Capped. I'm Let's Go Dragon. Sorry about that little intro beginning bit. But yeah, I'm Let's Go Dragon. Alongside me is General Vici, and we will be casting the continuation of yesterday's Diamond Cap games of Week 1.
Yeah, coming in after first 3 games yesterday, finish up the week with Revenge Nation Red versus Neuroshot Gaming.
So let's see how this game plays out. These are 2 newer teams to the GRLCS, I believe. But we do see maybe a couple familiar faces. I think I remember Beniona. That kind of sounds familiar to me at the very least. You recognize any of these other names?
Yeah, Vignona is someone who played, I believe, 2 years ago, so 5 or 6. It's been a while, but 5 or 6 splits since we've seen him in the GRCS. He was on, I believe, Reign of Kings was the team name back when he was playing. He was one of the better tops. Rest of them don't look as familiar, but I'm definitely excited to see one of the older mainstays of the GRLCS along with a bunch of new people to keep the league going.
Yeah, so with that said, let's go ahead and introduce these teams right now. You want to go ahead and introduce the blue side for us?
Yes, on the blue side we have Urgotten playing Mordekaiser. Legololt on Volibear. Mid lane is playing Yone named Yasuo. Kim Peter on Kaisa, and Saint Ghoul playing support Thresh.
While on the red side, we have Neuroshock Gaming, Beniona in the top lane playing Ornn. We have Rush playing Set in jungle, Gravity playing Rise in the mid lane, and for the bot lane, we have Kunya and Junior Dean playing the Xayah Rakan duo.
Yeah, and getting into the early game, we just see standard lane states, junglers both starting their red buff and then looking to go into a clear. Volibear going up towards chickens, while Set is looking to start a full clear with his Krugs. And in the meantime, everyone in the lanes is just farming it out.
Yeah, not too much to talk about here, but I am interested to see how well the Yone is going to be pulled out. But right now, a little fight.
Yeah, just a little early trade. You want to take advantage of the very powerful level 1 of Xayah Rakan. Now they have to be careful of the even more power level 2 of Thresh, as he's going to land a hook. Ignite already goes down, play back onto Junior Dean. He's going to flash out and live, but costs his entire health bar and 2 summoners to do it.
Yeah, that was very, very close. Having to use the heal in order to make sure he doesn't go down and flash away to get to safety is definitely going to be a little damper onto this early game, for at least for the bot side of Neuroshock.
Yeah, just saw them trying to take advantage of Xayah Rakan's strong level 1 with the Xayah empowered autos also working with Rakan as part of the Lovers duo, but weren't able to quite get it, and that means that trade mid. Alright, that was some training from Rise. Yasuo was going to go low and forced to run his pot. But going back to it, but because they went so hard to land on the level 1, they weren't paying attention to getting level 2. And as most supports will tell you, Thresh is probably one of the strongest level 2 champs in the game for support, with a very, very dangerous all-in that can and almost did get a kill, as mid lane Gravity is trying to keep pressure on Yasuo to keep him from farming, as that's a big CS lead. But here he goes all in with Sejuani in his back pocket, does burn the E, goes forward, look for Roots, gets turned down before he manages to go back. Gravity escapes with very low health, and he's going to be running, looking to execute to one of the towers, but I'm not sure if I've... Actually, no, he's recalling and he's going to try and teabag to lane, and he's actually going to make it as he starts to recall on his own. So
yeah.
Very well played by him.
And that was a very good play there. I thought he was actually just going to be trapped and have to force to give up a kill to someone else. But using that TP in order to save yourself is pretty nicely played and well thought out right there. Making sure that he doesn't actually have to die right there means that he saves himself a couple extra seconds from the death timers. He still will need to walk back to lane, but that's definitely still bigger upside than giving a kill to someone else.
Yeah, just well done by him. Slightly funny that he TP'd right back to the mid-tier 1 tower, so after he TP'd, he immediately had to go all the way back to base. But we'll forgive it from the rest of the play where he managed to get the 2v1 outplay. Yasuo tried to go over with Yone's Spirit Form to get the last bit of damage down, but just didn't calculate it right and ate a full combo from Gravity right in the face, who had been trading well with them. And now that Yasuo's in a pretty dangerous situation. Ryze is a very good scaler. He can trade back into a Yone if he tries to jump in. Otherwise, because against some chance, Yone can just go in with his E, get all his damage, pop back. Not a lot you can do about it, but Ryze can trade that pretty evenly. So having that early of a lead against a champion like Yone who needs gold to really impact the game is going to be very nice for Neuroshock.
Yep, very nice indeed. Not going to be able to find that Q onto him, but will be... might need to play this lane just a little bit smarter in order to try to find a victory for himself. For top lane, a little bit of an island, not too much happening, but we've seen some light trading coming in back and forth.
Yeah, Mordekaiser a bit far behind NCS, but the way's pushing into him, so he'll able to make up for it. Even as is typically what I expect from a Mordekaiser Ornn lane, they can both just front out safely. Mordekaiser will have kill threat once he gets a few more levels. It's low now, and once he gets access to the ult, he can do a decent job of beating up on Ornn as it goes later, but Ornn isn't too concerned about it. He's fine just farming it out, and matchup showing that so far, with the slight CS deficit going to be made up with this crashing wave, as it looks like Neuroshock are setting up around Dragon with all the lane pressure they have.
Yeah, really good job on them, seeing that their bot lane is doing a pretty good job at staying at least even, and then managed to get one wave pushing into to the blue side, while in the mid lane, once again, Ryze is still doing a pretty good job at keeping up and actually having a CS lead against his laner. So this generated priority makes it a little easier to grab this first Drake in Cloud.
Yeah, and I do want to highlight the bot lane where Kuya and Junior Dean got all in on the level 2 from Thresh and of course the Builder of the Sun does. Meanwhile, top lane, Urgot is going in. He does manage to get the double jump onto Binyona, who manages to land the Ornhorn, gets him very low, but Urgot now has the shield, and Binyona's gonna have to burn through it. Here comes another clap, and Binyona manages to get the solo kill on Urgot.
That was very well played by Binyona, hitting both parts of the ultimate on the Ornhorn. I forget what the natural name is, but then then getting the additional claps off as well to make sure that he gets pretty much good damage. He even stopped Mordekaiser from having his passive available. Ooh, hook goes in.
Yeah, not gonna lead to too much good play. Knockup does return, but on the whole, not too bad. And yeah, just forgotten the top lanes. Meanwhile, all in mid, he's gonna land the ultimate with the Spirit Form going. He's gonna pop him down, and Yasuo gets a return kill onto Gravity to re-equalize that mid lane.
Yeah, well played there. He's going to be trying to push in that last bit of wave, but Brush is in the area to pick up some of that EXP, so it's not all lost there.
Yeah, and there's one thing that you can see from... Now, I do want to look at itemization choices really quick, because I find some of them pretty interesting. No armor on Gravity in the mid lane. Usually in this kind of matchup, some mid laners you like to see a Seekers to try and negate some of that all lane. Yone, of course, does partial magic damage for whatever dumb reason Riot have for it, but so it isn't as effective, and since Gravity had the advantage, he thought he didn't need it. Ends up getting all in and killed there, and then in the top side is a hook's gonna land on Xayah. Bunch of damage on Rakan, but they're fine. And then in the top lane, you see the Spectre's Cowl on Ornn, which I find even more interesting, because with Ornn needing MR, typically you want to go for the Abyssal Mask, because that's what ornament you can get, as this is going to be a flash over right into the Blast Cone. Nice escape from Legoult. But as another all-in's going to come bot lane, he manages to land the double play. Hook goes on his die. He's going to but the knock up on the Thresh. He's going to have the Feathers flowing through and takes all the damage. Azai's going to have to back out. As nice Bella's Wrath to avoid the pull, and it's going to be a fight around this Rift Herald. Just pull much action. Legoult's going to smash down him, she's going to go down. Meanwhile, Kim Peter stayed way too long in bot lane. He's going to get all in by this Irakan. Does manage to ult flash out to safety, but Legoult is going to be able to pick up the Rift Herald because of the roam up from Yasuo.
Yeah, that was quite a scuttle around the entire map, really. I was about to say that the red side's doing a pretty good job at keeping up their keeping up with everything, considering they have 3 kills. You know, Banyona doing a good job topside, but looks like blue side is going to get some return out of that. Getting a kill for themselves as well as grabbing that Rift Herald is going to definitely help out in trying to push for a stronger lead.
Yeah, now meanwhile we see Urgot, he's waiting in the bush, and that spell is breath down. That means Banyona can't get out of the ult if he wants to. Pull's gonna land on him too, but it doesn't look like Urgoten's gonna blow the Death Realm. I think he probably had an opportunity to, so might have gotten close to the kill, but also remember the first time he tried that with his flash and gave up one to Banyona, so he's just gonna play it safe and back off.
Very fair. He's probably just going to be looking to trap his items before he goes ahead tries to go in on him, but he needs to be careful because Banyona will be building up some of that magic resist. Speaking of which, you were talking about that before everything kind of got a little crazy.
Yeah, so he ended up going to the Spectre's Cowl when typically you see Ornn go into Abyssal Mask, because that's what ornament he can upgrade once he hits 13. I'm guessing with the Spectre's Cowl, he'll go into Abyssal, or Adaptive Helm eventually, because that works great against Mordekaiser with the Leandries plus the dot passive. As online mid lane, he does land the ult, and that's going to get a bunch of damage. Flash forward from the Volibear and really clean kill mid from Yasuo.
And I do want to point out, thank you Lampshade, what is that, 100,000 for raiding. Thanks for the raid, guys. So yeah, that's this game. Really well, very well and clean played by Yasuo right there using the ultimate. I always underestimate how much damage that Yone's ultimate actually does.
Yeah, and now we see him doing a really good job in mid with 2 kills now onto the Rise. And Rise is going to TP, so the first month of Dragon. Rakan's going to go and get the charm on to Kaisa, who's going to get blown up immediately. Legolas is going to try and get out of there. Lantern doesn't quite manage to make it as Banyona TP'd as well. Now he's going to have the call of the Forge God going on to Yasuo on the Yone. Going to get the double knockups plus the Bella's Breath. Get him there, flash forward for the Clap Auto. He's going to finish him off. And they're going to get out with 3 kills at the cost of none.
Oh, well played. No Shot Gaming there. They had, I think positioning-wise, they just had it out for that fight. So you saw Rise TPing in the back, so it kind of left the Kaisa a little stranded. They were spread out thin and tried to get for an escape, but Kaisa was already too far forward and just being caught out by the Rakan alongside of Gravity there. Kind of just spelt his or the end for him in that dragon fight, and just kind of gave it away considering how fast he was bursted down, and then Legolas followed suit.
Yeah, just weren't ready for the fight on the back of the dragon. They didn't have their battle lines properly thought out. Kaisa got caught out right next to the damage and blown up by Rakan. Urgoten didn't have TP, Banyona did, so they managed to make it 5v4 as well, and just really clean collapse as they work their way towards Soul. Ooh, man. Matchup mid is starting to get pretty dang rough for Gravity with Yone is frankly just really, really annoying when he gets ahead. He can just Spirit Form forward, get all his damage, pop back before you can return it, chunky to half, go for all ends, as meanwhile Urgoten's going to walk forward. They're going to try and get him down. It is kind of risky going for him like this. He does have the Death Realm in multi-man fights. Rakan's going to go forward. Skeleton to pop the Death Realm. He's taking so much damage and he gets it off way too late, and that's going to mean Kuya goes on a killing spree.
Yeah, seeing now that everyone is up on the top side, they dropped Rift Herald bot, but I don't believe it got its charge off, but I don't believe it's actually still alive anymore. That's unfortunate because they're getting such a strong counter siege for the red side up on top lane, and they're just getting all these free turret platings as a response.
Yeah, just really well done from the side of Neuroshock. They managed to get the rotation. Urgoten doesn't respect how many people there are, waits too long on the Death Realm, so he doesn't manage to avoid any of the damage or get out and goes down, as that's going to mean their first tower. They do have a lot of free time for Kaisa bot to get solo plates, which are more valuable than the plates that are being spread between members here. But you won't get the actual tower, so the first tower gold, plus all 5 plates, means that Neuroshock gets to a comfortable 2,500 gold lead.
So let's just go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and look at the gold differences as we see it right now. See One side has a little bit more than the other. We see in blue, or top side, I mean. Red, yeah, Beniona doing a very marginal lead. It's like pretty not too much. Little skirmish in jungle first. Nah, is that pretty much it. Then jungle 200, which is again negligible. That's just like a little bit of farm difference. While and then maybe some of the turret platings that we saw earlier, helping out. Close it. Maybe a
meanwhile they're gonna go and he's gonna get the flash face breaker, try and pull Lego ult back into the team. He's gonna ult back out. TP comes in. Here comes Yona. He's gonna get the double knock. Good face breaker, but still gets the shutdown onto Zaya. Now Forgotten manages to get the kill onto Set. Here comes the Ornhorn. They're gonna be able to blow up Thresh, but Thresh is gonna flay him back in first. Rakan goes in to try and heal, gets turned off immediately. Yasuo is still alive. He gets into the back line. Now that Yona's the only one left trying to run away. Damage following him. Yasuo is trying to get in there. Blast cone. They do manage to even going over the wall. Yasuo's gonna pop back, and now Lego ult's alone with him. He's gonna go down, and Yona's still caught off, still probably gonna die. Despite the trade kill, as it looks like Kais is just running around. Finally, Yasuo gets the kill, and that's going to be a delayed ace in favor of Revenge Nation Red.
Yeah,
Plus the Rift Barrel.
Well played there. Right now, Yasuo is just doing an excellent job. He's doing a lot of damage. He has plenty of attack speed, so he has that lower Q cooldown, and he's really doing a good job at dishing out the damage. In the early parts of that fight, we saw him ult right onto the Zyra right there, which was excellent right to start off the fight, because he was able to burst her down almost immediately, and then followed suit, just finishing or leaving and then coming back to finish up the rest of the members. Was really well played there by Revenge Nation Red.
Yeah, just really well done. When we were checking gold leads, it was the bot lane of Neuroshock that had the advantage. Everyone else was even, but 1,300 gold for Zaya, another 500 or so for the Rakan. And so when they get blown up at the beginning of the fight like that, you just don't have much DPS to follow. Ryze couldn't really get in there. Ornn was late to it as well. So just better job by Revenge Nation Red keeping their team together and ready for the fight, as opposed to Neuroshock, who kind of weren't prepared for the fight that's going to happen and trickled into it. But now it looks like we are going to see a 5v5 as the Yone gets onto 2. He's going to get a ton of damage. Koya goes down immediately again. Ryze is still alive, doing damage in the back. Knockup's coming forward as they're all going to be running away from Neuroshock. Kai'Sa goes into the back line, gets a bunch of damage, tries to invis out. Yasuo goes in, and they're just getting so many autos down, so much damage. And Yona's going to go down as well. Yet another one fight for Revenge Nation Red with a 4-for-1.
And with this one fight means that they'll be able to grab this Inferno Dragon, which is going to be their first dragon of the game. But if you have 4 of the Inferno Dragons in smartly fleet, that's a really good dragon to have, especially when you have such strong damage carries such as Kai'Sa and Yone. Even Mordekaiser is going to be benefiting off this additional AP very well. Being able to start trying to take some of these dragons, it looks like a lot of the initiatives over onto the side of Revenge Nation Red. So being able to take some of these dragons is going to help out a ton, even though you lost the first 2 dragons. If you can get a 4th the same dragon, that's just like insanely powerful as well.
Yeah, and that was even more important because it stops Neuroshock from getting Soul Point, which would be a really good win condition. Infernal Soul is one of the better souls, so if they got that, it would have made up for a lot. But now you lost that, so that delays any taking of that. The blue team is ahead, and Yasuo has his 2-item power spike with Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer, and he's been putting in work in these team fights, and it'll only get worse. Another item check as I look down and see a Luden's Echo, 2nd item for Kai'Sa. I don't think I've ever seen Kai'Sa ADC go Luden's Echo for any reason, as that's more of a poke thing where I guess you're looking to poke out with W before the fight, but it probably hurts your DPS against an Ornn. I don't know. It's really weird as Yuno's going to back off, as Yuno is actually going to go in with the ult. That is so much damage onto Beniona. This isn't like this knockup, it gets him down to a 3rd. That's going to be a lot of tower pressure for him.
Yeah, that's yeah, Yasuo is just doing a lot of damage. He has his 2-item power spike that typically you see on a Yasuo, but it applies just the same for Yone. Doing 100% of the time if your autos or crits is gonna makes a lot of your damage a lot more consistent, plus having the IE means that you'll be hitting pretty decently hard. And then I believe right now he's actually at the attack speed he needs to have a full CDR for his Q. So right now it's looking pretty good on the side of Revenge Nation Red, because, you know, right now Yasuo is pretty huge. Kim Peter is doing quite well for himself as well. Maybe not as much so as Yozuru, but he still has 2 items under his belt, working on the 3rd item being Gunzo's.
They're gonna catch him recalling. He was on a ward, Rakambo comes out, and that's gonna be a shutdown for Kuya. And that's really good to stop the momentum and get something back in the favor of Neuroshock.
Yeah, and the shutdown going over to Kuya means that he'll be able to try to catch up, grab that 2nd item, and start working towards his 3rd. If we look at how much gold he has, he's almost at 2k, which is, I believe, would be enough in order to try to grab whatever he's getting next. Not the IE, I don't believe, but maybe so. Maybe the Storm Racer.
Should be Infinity Edge 2nd for the Xayah. That's a pretty good 2-item spike. Lets you do a lot more damage. Storm Razor is typically, you see it more on something like Jen or Caitlyn, who want to catch people out or set up for their other CC abilities like a Ned or a Fiddly Flourish. Xayah wants the DPS more to be able to burn through the Olibear, the Orner, Yone as he dives in. So
you're correct, it is the Infinity Edge. I don't know. I guess I was still thinking maybe a couple ADCs still built the Storm Razor, but it's pretty far in view right now. It's like Ergon and Beniona is going to be duking out a little in the bot lane instead. Chain the scenery.
Yeah, and looking at things going forward, we have a lot more map control for the side of Revenge Nation Red as they're getting vision around the Baron Pit, getting set up. Side lanes are definitely in their favor. No one can 1v1 Yasuo on the Yone. Ornn went full MR thinking he would be up against the Mordekaiser, thinking that Ryze had the Yone pretty well shut down after that first blood mid, but that also means that now he doesn't have armor. So it's really, really hard for him to fight the Yone in the 1v1, as we saw when he did top lane and 1 all-in, chunked him to a 3rd health. So it's going to be hard dealing with this 1-3-1 pressure. Mordekaiser's good at it too, because anyone tries to stop you in the 1-3-1, you just ult one of them, kill them in the death realm, and then get to fight the other one with the better stats. So it's going to be up to Neuroshock to be able to force something with the Rakan bow, with the set jumping in, or an Ornn Horn, to try and get a force before Revenge Nation Red can get the proper setup for them claiming a Baron and then pushing to win the game.
Yeah, but right now we're going to be seeing people looking to circle around, at least for the boot slide, they're going to be circling around that Nets Infernal Drake to deny another one from Neuroshock. But Neuroshock instead is going to be looking to grab a couple of vision over on Baron. So maybe make sure that no one will be able to secure that, at least this early on. But they are going to be securing the Drake. For them, 2 Infernals down, 4 more to go, or 2 more to go, in order to get to Soul Point. I guess Soul Point.
Yeah, and that was just an acceptable trade from Neuroshock. They knew they couldn't face check into the Dragon area. They didn't have vision control. They don't really win team fights right now without having a way to shut down Yasuo. So, and especially with no armor on Ornn, he actually went into adaptive after the Abyssal Mask, so they wanted to get vision control around Baron instead. And now we see Revenge Nation Red actually starting up the Baron. They do quite a bit of DPS to it. You have Kai'Sa, Mordekaiser, and Yone, even though Kai'Sa went the poke build. But here comes the fighter. Urgon's gonna Mordekaiser ult really early, trying to keep the set out of the pit, but they back off anyway. Ornn Horn to disengage. Now Urgon's gonna come out into the middle of 5 people. He has no support from his team. He's gonna go down immediately. Like ult tries to go in, and they're gonna go for Xayah, who managed to get a really nice pilot pull and backline distract. The set is going to try and knock down Thresh, but he's going to go down to the Yone as Ryze is doing much damage as he can. Does pop him down. Now Yone's alone in the middle of 3. He's going to be burned down. Can't pop back. Does go down. And that's going to be a 1-team fight for Neuroshock with the 4 for 2 and possibly a Baron to follow.
That was really well played there by Neuroshock Gaming. We saw that Urgon had the idea of he was going to be able to hold the jungler away from Baron Pit so his team could finish it. I think they were just on a little too different wavelengths. And instead of just trying to finish up the Baron, they looked for the engage and looked to try to maybe get a turn on them. The full team committed, which is a good thing. You know, you want your full team to commit with you if you're going to do a whole turn, but a little different wavelengths. Urgon instead just going to go down to Grub while he is in the Death Realm, or not while he's in the Death Realm. Right when he gets out, he's in the middle of everyone else. So they didn't manage to get the Baron alongside of just losing out that team fight, because you lose out on a pretty... his score doesn't necessarily say it, but I would say still he's a pretty important player whenever you're considering like trying to burst down Kuya or Gravity, keep him down. So well played there by No Shot there, playing the fight slow, making sure that you wait for the Death Realm to finish and kill whoever comes out of it, and then go ahead and then turn onto the rest of the team.
And as you said, miscommunication by Revenge Nation Red on what they actually wanted to do. They got Baron down to around 5,000 when Neuroshock came in to contest. Urgotten thought he would just go ult the set, prevent the smite steal, but it was too high for them to burn down, so instead he just used his ult early in the fight for nothing, and the rest of his team zoned off Revenge Nation Red. So when he did come out, he was surrounded, got burned down. A bunch of people went down to chase the Zai. She managed to get out with her ult, flash, and the Feather Storm. The Feather Pull kept her alive, and so just a piecemeal fight on what they were going for let Neuroshock just clean them up and get the Baron, and now they're going to look to knock down some towers, and with all the standing gold that is up, I imagine they're going to extend this gold lead a couple thousand more before Baron falls.
Yeah, they do still have about a minute left onto this Baron. I'm not sure, but I think I heard a flash alongside a Nimbus Cloak there. We'll ignore that.
Probably a Hex Flash.
Yeah, maybe that.
Ooh, almost engaged with him, but really nice play from Thresh, keeps your con out. So it's going to be one cooldown. The side lanes are crashing, but it looks like Yone and Mordekaiser backed off to defend the base. They knew they don't win a 5-man pushing through mid. Not a lot their team can do to stop it, and they'd end the game before they got it. So that will be the end of the Baron push. They get 2 towers for it. About 1,500 gold lead now from being down about 3k. And now they're going to go back onto the map, and I imagine the next fight will probably be around this Infernal in a minute, trying to get one of these teams to Soul Point.
Yeah, Soul Point is definitely something to have in contention. Baron buff is almost out anyways, so there's not really too much you can really go for other than bot lane, but seeing that bot lane is already next to Dragon, they're just going to try and set up for that sort of Dragon vision. Right now, we have Revenge Nation Red having the initiative, having a lot of these wards already placed down, but we have Neuroshock Gaming going ahead and be able to take the site first and start playing away a lot of this vision and placing their own.
Yeah, and just looking at what everyone has going into this, you have 3-item Kaisa, you have 3-item Yone, they're going to be strong. Mordekaiser has his big 2 as the Ornal comes in, and Yuna's going to try and force engage with the Death Realm piece with him going through. So he's got to flash over the wall, they're going to be able to get Thresh down immediately. Yone gets in the back line with a beautiful ult. He's going to burn down the set with the Zaya, and now the fight's going to keep going as Zaya manages to stay alive, get all the damage down and burn down 4. Now it's just the 2 top laners fighting as Ryzult's going to cut off Forgotten, and he is probably going to go down as well. Knockout from Rakan, triple kill for Gravity as Neuroshock win the fight.
Yeah, looks like Neuroshock is doing pretty well now. It looks like they have stabilized with Beniona hitting that the item power spikes. He upgraded his teammates Kuya's Infinity Edge into the Molten Edge, doing a lot more damage there, and Rise himself has also seemed to hit a little more of a power spike, finished up that Archangel stack into his Seraphs, and also got a Liandry's, which I'm not entirely sure about, but it's working for him, so I won't question it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Liandry's either. I think that for someone like Rise, you're getting the big bounce damage when you're not into tanks. Sure, there's a Volibear, that's the word, who's tanky, but generally with Rise, your DPS is coming out so fast that just bigger AP ratios on your Q&E will do more for you than the Liandry's burn over the course of a fight. Does end up working for him, and that Dragon Infernal Soul is going to be a really big turning point for Neuroshock. They now have one away from an Infernal Soul, which is really big on all their champions, and just the gold leads to let them get the death cap on Rise, get a Randuin's on Ornn. Zaya's now 4 item, 100% crit. So if they don't burst Zaya and possibly Rise at the very beginning, they aren't going to win the fight. And even when they do get onto them, like we saw last time with Yasuo's, I don't remember what Yone ult's called, but he got onto him and still wasn't able to one-shot them. And afterwards, the Zaya feathers just killed the whole team with the Rise bounces. And meanwhile, Thresh is going to land a hook and tries to flash out. He's all alone. He can't make it out. Gravity's going to get killed. And Yone actually fail flashes the wall, and so he's probably going to be looking to be chased down by Urgot. Gonna dash away, but the pole's gonna get back into him. Still has Death Realm to pull him into too. Then Yone goes into it. There's the Death Realm. Kind of hard to beat a Mordekaiser, and at this point, gonna look for it, but will go down as Urgot gets the solo kill, and that might just stop a Baron from Neuroshock.
Yeah, now team fights are back to being a 4v4, but this pick might change that right here. Little right here, Yasuo's going right.
Yeah, gets in the backline, gets a stopwatch out of Kaya. He's gonna pop back with the E as now Kaisa's in the backline, does manage to barely get the trade kill on Zaya, so that's good for her. Gravity's pushing forward with Recon and set. They aren't gonna get anything here, as that's interesting. And now Urgot's gonna be able to pull him right out of it, flashes away, tries to get the Seraph Shield, but gets shut down by Yasuo. Now the chasers are gonna come forward. They don't have anyone that can kill Urgot or Yasuo at this point. They're gonna chase him forward, get the kill, and that's another swing in this game that's been full of them.
Yeah, this game has been full of swings. This means that we'll be able to see yet another Baron go down this game. Although they don't have Kim Peter right now, their DPS will be slightly lower, or I guess cut pretty decently because they don't have their ADC, but they do have plenty of time before Grub come up, and they'll be able to take this Baron for themselves. A little longer, they could have gotten Baron buff also onto Kim Peter as well.
Yeah, and that's just gonna be their chance to now push down, try and get the towers to see if they make better use of it than Neuroshock. And this is just turning into quite the scrappy game. Both teams have now gotten a Baron off of a big team fight win, and just looking at how it's going to go for now. Now, Urgoten's managed to finish his Zanya's, which is going to be really good. You can put Rise in the Death Room at this point. Zaya has the QSS, which can take you out of it, so you probably don't want to ult her. But if you can ult Rise into the Death Realm and then stopwatch, or Zanya's, the adult stopwatch, you can prevent a lot of the DPS from Neuroshock, especially if you can keep Zaya distracted. Zanya's done for Kaisa as well, so her backline dives won't go. Can at least let her stay alive a bit longer, pull some distraction. I'm still not a big fan of the Ludens. I think that you just don't get as much DPS in it, and even if you're thinking poke, you have Guardian Rakan who can absorb it, Ornn absorbs it, Set absorbs it, they don't really care. So it's just lowering the damage you can do to a tanky frontline. Play the Ruined King done on Yone is going to be good against the Set Ornn. So a lot of big item completions coming forward. You're still missing Death Cap on Rise. Still missing a second Ornn item for Ornn himself. He didn't go into the Sunfire, he went Randuin instead for the crits. As meanwhile, fight's gonna start. It's a big ult in the backline, plus the Ornn knockup on top of it. That's gonna burn down Thresh immediately. Urgoten's gonna stun you. He's gonna go down. Rivish goes down to Yasuo. Big knockup from Ornn. That's a 3-man. That's gonna be a shutdown onto Urgoten. Now Yasuo and Kaisa are gonna back off. He goes to the background from Kaya, but now he's alone against the exhaust. Kaisa goes forward from Yasuo. He's gonna get rooted by the feathers. Can't spot back quite in time, gets burned down. And that's going to be 4 kills in favor of 1 for Neuroshock, and they might just push to win the game.
Yeah, they have the opportunity to push here. They still have the ADC available, and Gravity having a bunch of AP means they will still be able to chunk at least some of these structures quite well to try to take it. We see Kim Peter trying to use some of that poke onto the remaining members of Neuroshock Gaming, but it's not necessarily doing enough, and they're just going to go straight onto her. Ooh.
Yeah, Thresh does respawn. He's going to hook in, try and give Kaisa some space to do damage. They are going to get a bit of damage onto Biona, but so much damage from Kuya. He has 100% crit. He doesn't care about a Thresh. He's going to get the kill and burn down the Nexus. And Neuroshock Gaming is going to take their first win, the GRLCS.
Yep, well played there. We're on screen. There you go. I'm still working on this. Yeah. So, well played there, Neuroshock Gaming. Nice try for Revenge Nation Red, it was a really close game with a lot of swings. Just maybe a couple misplays right there, or at least maybe not the most optimal decisions going for the Ludens. That's a pretty big point we want to make. Just because of the DPS hit you kind of take whenever you build that Ludens instead of getting something that's like a Gunzos that would also give you the AP to go put you over the edge if you still want to have the little upgraded W. But whatever the case is, looks like No Shot Gaming will be taking this game. I couldn't say this while we were shoutcasting, but looking at the chat, yes, we will be only streaming one game from this series. We do one per for each week, and that has been Revenge Nation Red versus Neuroshot Gaming. We're going on to the next one, which I believe is Revenge Nation Black versus Sensei Squad. So we'll be right back. And welcome back. So we're here with we have Revenge Nation Black on the blue side and Sensei Squad on the red. We just saw Revenge Nation Red face off against I believe it was Omega Neuroshot Gaming, and Neuroshot Gaming was able to pull out the win in the game full of swings back and forth. So let's go ahead and jump right into this next one. And right here. You here with me, General Vici?
Yep, clear as we get into our second and last game of the day. On the blue side, we have Revenge Nation Black with Sapachi playing Camille in the top lane, Serenity on Olaf in the jungle, Exercise running Galio in the mid, and Vanilla 7 and Potatoes God playing Caitlyn Karma bot.
Yep, Caitlyn Karma bot. So now on to Sensei Squad. We have Alpha Advance playing Maokai in the top lane, Water Bear in the jungle playing the set. Once again, we see a set jungle. Essence Stalker in the mid lane playing Corki, and for the bot lane we have Deadshot and Will I Ever Quit playing Ashe and Morgana.
And as we get into it, talking about the teams a little bit, Sensei Squad, I believe, is a long-time Plat Division team. I know Water Bear had done there for a while. I'm not quite as sure on the rest of them. I don't think I've seen any of their many members, but it is always nice to see some people head up to higher divisions and get into high-level competition. I think for Revenge Nation Black, I believe we saw a couple of them in Summer Slash? Or was it? No, I believe it was the OU Charity Tournament where we saw Sapachi, and I don't remember if XSI or Serenity were on it. They sound kind of familiar.
Serenity and XSI do sound familiar. They might be from our spring split, but I'm not entirely sure. But going right into this game, not too much happening here. We do see that both junglers go ahead and place down their wards and then back so they can switch out for a red trinket. Pretty typical stuff to see. And,
yeah, and meanwhile, looking at the lanes, there's definitely going to be a mismatch in the jungle with Olaf. Olaf is one of the most powerful early game junglers in the game. You can't really duel him. You can't really fight him. He can power clear his entire jungle faster than most others, but falls off pretty hard compared to a lot of other junglers. So a lot of it's going to be him looking to get advantages to let the rest of his team scale safely. Caitlyn, of course, scales very well despite a mid-game trough. You have the Camille Galio combo, which is dangerous, especially to a couple of immobile ADCs like Ashe or Corki can even get comboed down as long as he has a Hextech ultimatum keeping him from running. So I think a lot of this is going to, for Revenge Nation Black, is going to be them looking to keep early pressure with the Olaf to let Galio roam and get combos with Camille as bot lane stays shoved in and try and get a lead there. Whereas Sensei Squad is also looking to scale, but in a different way, where they have probably one of the best hyper tanks in Maokai, plus a ton of DPS in Corki, Ashe Morgana for picks, and set just to peel a Camille and or Galio off of his strong backline. So it's a pretty different playstyles for the teams want to accomplish, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll interact as things go forward.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting to see. I'm also interested to see how Sensei Squad will be able to react. They have double ADCs on their team, so they'll be able to dish out quite a bit of damage. And they have two tanks such as Water Bear and Maokai to defend them quite a bit. But it really depends on how well can each team play their front to back. They have Serenity, which helps with doing a little bit of diving onto these two ADCs, but as an Olaf, really you kind of have to try to burst him down before he goes ahead and gets on top of you. Having two ADCs helps out a lot with that, especially if they'll be... especially as Ashe and Corki, both of them having quite a bit of DPS, Ashe a little more so than Corki.
Yeah, as early game top barely misses the face breaker. Not too costly. He'd already cleared almost all of his jungle, chicken camp up, so target of opportunity. Good job by Sapachi to avoid it. As looking at lane matchups specifically, I'm pretty sure Galio is able to push into the Corki. Not a lot of kill threat on him, but can keep him dizzy. I know in top lane, Camille has a slight early advantage with everything, but Maokai outscales her starting around, I'd say, level 7. He can start all-lining her, and then very late in the game, once Camille gets Death Stance or Lifesteal, she can fight him back. Bot lane, Caitlyn Karma is definitely going to have an advantage over the Ashe Morg. Barring a random Morg binding hitting, even then, Karma can burn through Mordblack shield with Q. Caitlyn outranges and can just combo trap. But they're gonna have a lot of pressure on this bot side to try and get leads through. And we'll probably want to set up some dives with Olaf Galio.
Yeah, definitely very strong combo, as you said. Well, Galio, just because of how strong the all-in potential is. Right now, Drake with the Cloud Drake spawning up. We see both junglers have met each other, but they're not going to be doing too much. Instant Stalker is going to have to recall here. Pretty bad time to recall because Olaf has the capability of doing dragons very, very early into the game, and giving up that little mid priority means that they could actually look for a dragon here, but it looks like they're going to be aiming for maybe something else. Perhaps no, it looks like they're just going to be leaving it at that, and now they're going to be looking forward to the dragon instead.
Yes, that is going to meet them in the area. Looks like he had to flash away from Galio, who did go Predator. That's something we've been seeing more and more recently with Galios. They'll go Predator, try and get roams off. It gives you a lot easier of a time setting up your taunt. With since you can't flash taunt anymore, now you have to run at them to do it. Predator helps you do that a lot easier, so they're able to force set back. Corki was forced back, bot lane has an advantage, so that's going to be a very clean early dragon in favor of Revenge Nation Black.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be able to take this first dragon into something further on whenever, like, getting closer to Soul Point is very, very important. So that having this early dragon means that they're just that much closer. Not everyone is level 60 just yet, but having that additional 10% cooldown reduction on their ults will help out a ton, especially when you have such a strong combo with the Galio, having that extra 10% cooldown reduction on such a long but important ulti is definitely going to help out.
Yeah, that'll help a lot going forward with at least a couple of ults. Galio, you want up more. Olaf ult, it's good to have up more. Karma lets her poke some more with it, maybe get more Banshee Shield, but good there too. Caitlyn, you never really... Her ult can be used as poke, and so just generally nice to have extra Cloud like this on their team comp. Already building up a gold lead, as we see as well. Olaf is 20 CS up in the jungle, just with how strong his power clear is. He is going for the more tanky Olaf with the Cinderhalt, looking to go into his like the tank build. I think it's Cinderhalt Warmogs is what we usually see instead of Warrior Black Cleaver, which would give him a lot more damage threat. So it looks like they're playing more towards the scaling. They don't want to end early, instead think that their Camille Galio and Caitlyn can carry late game fights. Not quite sure if it's the right call or not. I've always been of the slight opinion that if you're picking Olaf for scaling and going tank, there are better champs to pick that, and that the Warrior Black Cleaver at least gives you threat, especially with Camille locking down one of the ADCs to just pop them instantly. But against something like Maokai Set, you can also get blown up pretty quickly if you don't have someone else to match their tankiness. So we'll see how much that choice affects him going into the late game.
Yeah, and right now we see Serenity is going to be over near the Rift Herald, trying to do that. Getting these objectives early is going to be pretty good, meaning that we'll see a reset for the Rift Herald soon, sooner rather than later, and opens up the possibility of seeing 2 Shellys onto the Rift.
Yeah, and so far, just Revenge Nation Black doing a good job with their objective control. They've gotten it basically on spawn both times. Haven't really put themselves at risk doing it. So now with the Herald, it's going to be a matter of where you want to drop it. Bot lane's always a good place to drop it when you have a Caitlyn, as well, a gank's coming in, and that was a good combo.
Very good, sorry, I forgot I was playing that casting. TP coming in, Sapachi using the headstick ultimating, the alley ulti goes down, but doesn't matter, first blood goes down for Sapachi.
Yeah, and that was a nice combo by Water Bear, but literally no one else in the area to help him follow up on it, in a very instant response from Revenge Nation Black means that they do manage to isolate him and get the kill, and now they're going to look for a couple more as Olaf is in the back line.
Ooh, going in for a dive. We have Sapachi going in a little deep. Vanilla was taking tower there, but he managed to pick up the kill for himself. Helps push that bot lane advantage as well. Shelly is going to be dropped, and turret plates distributed to whoever was nearby. this see, but we still see Essence Stalker. He's trying to make something happen with his package. He has that available. He's going to go ahead and cut off the path for Serenity. Serenity is going to go right onto Essence Stalker, but the rest of the team is there to take him down.
Yeah, nice initial response from Revenge Nation Black. They managed to get the kill all of some areas, so he gets the Herald drop and cut off the retreat. I do want to call out Will I Ever Quit for a really nice play. He actually flashed forward into the Camille hook shot. It might have looked like an end, but what he did was he prevented Camille from getting the extra rage to potentially hook shot flash onto dead shot. So really nicely done from Will I Ever Quit to prevent any chance of his AD carry from dying. Nice sacrifice play, I appreciate it. They do manage to pick off Serenity in the back after he doesn't quite get the memo that everyone's resetting. Nice by Essence Stalker, had a good package to cut him off. So they do get 1 kill back, but it's still 1,500 gold for Revenge Nation Black.
Revenge Nation Black is so to be able to stay on top of this, which is what they need when having a Caitlyn going about even with the ADC or even just ahead is quite the scary thought to see. Serenity is now looking for revenge onto Essence Stalker. He's going to go ham on him a little bit. The Black Shield is going to be trying to signal Serenity to back off a little bit. Smite goes through and he will get the scuttle.
And this is looking like a Dragon setup for Sensei Squad. They don't want to give over to stop the Dragon stacking now. They are in a 5v4 with Camille staying top, so they're trading plates for her in favor of getting this Dragon and stopping any stacking. Smite. So they're trading probably 2 plate mid and then probably 2 top for this. But they do get the Mountain, and Mountain's pretty good on a team when you have set Maokai who just love getting tankier.
Grabbing that Mountain is also a good one to deny away from Revenge Nation Black, since SSI is already going to be pretty tanky. He is Galio, so having that Serenity hiding behind the corner and looking for Alpha, Spachi is going to be following suit with him, but they're both just going to back away, realizing it's not necessarily something they can go forcing to slow him down and get a good catch. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, again, that Mountain Drake away from Revenge Nation Black means they will be they don't have to necessarily worry about having Galio as a necessarily unkillable threat, but do get the benefit of having Alpha Advance just that a little bit extra stronger. Ooh, SSI going in with the Predator, hits a taunt, but SSI is going to be, or Essence Stalker, my bad, uses the Cleanse and Flash to get out of that.
Yes, that's going to be both suns down. As looking across again, we do see the side lanes having a pretty good advantage. Is okay. They're gonna look for other advance, but we should be fine as a Maokai.
Oh, Maokai is going to be ulted by the Hextech Ultimatum, then hits with all 3 ultis from the top side. Jungle, the Hero's Entrance, and the Hextech Ultimatum is going to take him down. Ooh.
Yeah, just pushed up too far without vision. Galio didn't have Corki keeping him in lane. He knew that Olaf was in his topside jungle where they had all the control down and just pushed up without any wards of his own. So he gets collapsed from behind and 3-manned and giving over another kill to Camille, who now has her Triforce done. Shouldn't matter too much in the 1v1 because Maokai is actually still pretty effective at just shutting down Camille. You can sustain through a lot, even all in. He doesn't die quickly. So it won't be as much of a problem, but it is a nice bonus for them to get him down and accelerate Camille even more quickly. It's a time when she can just bully Maokai out.
And getting those items means that they'll also be able to one-shot these ADCs a lot easier whenever it times around the mid to late game, or at least whenever to the mid game, whenever everyone starts grouping up. Right now we see that the Herald is about to come right off cooldown. So maybe both teams will be looking for that. I know that Serenity grabbed the first one initially, so he might be looking to grab that one right now, but instead he's going to be looking to clear his bot side jungle just because of pathing.
Oh, nice interrupt on the hook shot. Has managed to keep him out, and now Apache's running into the saplings. Maokai saplings do quite a bit of damage, more than most people expect. It's one of my favorite parts of his kit, actually, is just when objective setups are going on, just throw saplings into every bush, and as they face check you, they take like 200-300 damage off of it. every time. It's pretty fun. As no focused on Herald as of yet, just pushing is still starting to get low. And possible setup on bot lane for gank, but that's always risky against with the TPs coming up for both solo lanes. But Arrow comes in anyway.
Okay. Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes in. We have Will I coming in with the ultimate and soft watches, but the showstopper come on Ryan to Vanilla, but Serenity is looking to go on top of Waterbear. We have Deadshot just stuck in the middle of all of everything. Serenity will pick up the kill onto Waterbear. Deadshot is deep in the middle of all that enemy jungle. The quit is going to be dodging. Throws out the Q, but Serenity dodges the flash. But doesn't dodge that one. He will go down to the tower, and Alpha Advance will be able to pick up that kill. Deadshot looks like he was able to actually get out of there.
A really scrappy fight in the bot lane. Lots of TPs come in, lots of ults blown, lots of summoners. In the end, it does end up being advantage for Revenge Nation. They managed to get the first tower because of how low they chunked them. Nice setup from Sensei Squad. Revenge Nation were perfectly ready to counter it though. I believe it ended up being a 2-for-2 at the end. Not quite sure on that. That extra kill from Olaf getting a bit antsy under tower into Morgana gives it back, and looks like another fight is going to be set up by both teams as everyone is rushing towards the dragon.
Yeah, both teams are prioritizing dragons pretty well. It is an Infernal Drake, so grabbing these is definitely pretty important considering if Sensei Squad gets this, their two ADCs are just going to burst down your tanks that much faster. If Red Nation Flats gets it, then that's denying really strong dragon for that. And also Serenity will be able to just dive really hard anyways. So dragon's already started.
TP's coming in.
The root goes onto Etsasai. Etsasai hits him. Is going to be able to get out of there. He uses the hero's entry to try to get out of there, but he won't be able to. Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out along with a lot of other CCs in order to make sure he doesn't get away. And,
yeah, so they sacrificed Etsasai for the dragon. He goes into zone, and he does manage to zone him off, but it is an Infernal Drake for them. Infernal Soul especially, you want to keep off because you have Corki, Ashe, Morgana, Maokai all have abilities they can just throw out every few seconds to trigger it on you. So once you get it, it becomes really, really hard to get any proper team fight set up because you just get poked that so hard before you get in. Because they got the kill onto Etsasai and nice interrupt on his ult to keep him out, he won't be able to join, so that is also going to be a herald for them that they can pick up as a consequence of Dragon. Without Plate's Herald, not quite as valuable, but you still might be able to knock down a turret with it.
Yeah, and so let's see where they are gonna be able to take this for Herald. It has their bot lane currently in the mid lane trying to get some of this farm, but looks like everyone's just looking for a couple of resets. Let's go ahead and look at the gold. Speaking of resets, top lane we see a huge advantage to the side for the blue side. Camille's doing an excellent job. We have about 1700 gold, I believe, is my math is correct. But jungle we have 700. Mid lane we have around 800. As for bots, we have collectively, I want to say it's about 1200.
That checks out for me. So we see that every lane except for mid is favored for Revenge Nation Sensei Squad, with only Corki having an advantage over his lane component, which is pretty nice for Corki, and Camille will still be neutralized for a while by the Maokai, so I would still rate this as a pretty even game. Caitlyn's also getting into her mid game dip, especially because she's going into another Zeal item instead of what most people accept as the better one now of going just Infinity Edge into Stormrazor, which smooths out your power curve a lot, makes you a lot more effective still despite Caitlyn's mid-game trough. So I would still rate this as an even game. It'll depend on how these next couple of fights go to see who truly has the lead going forward, and I assume that with all neutral objectives off, it's just going to be farming for a while.
It's going to be farming for a while indeed. There's not really much for them to go for on the map other than just towers, so might as well just go ahead and try to make sure that each member of your team are going to be farming effectively and making sure they'll stay on their power curve on time, just like the enemy team is. So right now, again, not too much happening, but we have Baron up soon in about right now, and both teams are going to be looking to try to get some early vision onto there. We already see we have the auto crab taken, as well as a couple of pink wards up there from the side of Red Nation Flag, and you might be able to see a couple more. Sapachi is going to go all in onto Advanced. Serenity is on the area as well, so Sapachi and the Serenity is going to go right onto Alpha Advance, and a lot of damage coming through. Hook shot, and looks like Alpha Advance is going to fall down. Took a little while, honestly, considering how strong Sapachi is, but as you said earlier, Alpha Advance can, at least Maokai, can hold his own against Camille, or at least he's supposed to once around this point of the game, but Camille is just doing quite a little bit better than he is.
Yeah, that's just him not respecting map state. Maokai can match Camille, but not when you're pushed out to the halfway point of a lane without tower, teammates, or vision, as with no pressure elsewhere, Olaf just gets to run down. Camille can lock you up long enough with the Hextech ultimatum for him to get in range, and once Olaf's there, Maokai can't disengage from him, because even if you try and get the knock-ups, you have the slows. Maokai's generally good at kiting, but Olaf ignores all of that. He just gets to run through him, and so now we're getting to the point where I am a bit worried for Alpha Advance, where he's already given a couple of those free kills over, let Camille get the big CS lead, and soon she is going to be able to 1v1 him with impunity, especially if he keeps doing this kind of thing where he's too far forward without vision, as the fight fight's going to start right before the dragon.
Yeah, Waterbear was looking to try to get a good pick off, but the whole team was there. Potatoes is going to just take a little bit of a poke. Waterbear is now in kind of a big abyss. Pachi's looking to finish off the kill, but he finds Deadshot instead. We have Waterbear using the ultimate to get away from the Hextech ultimatum, and since he uses the package and try to look for a kill onto Potatoes, but it doesn't work. Serenity and Vanilla's be able to clear up there, and now looks like Sensei Squad is going to be 2 members down for this dragon.
Oh, that was a big throw from Sensei Squad. They played that fight pretty dang poorly. Waterbear tried to go in for the flank, runs right into a Kate trap, gets chunked to about a 5th health before anything even starts. Sapachi was on the back line. No one was able to kill Caitlyn, so he managed to get right onto her immediately, and Waterbear had to sacrifice himself to get it off. Essence Stalker's the strongest one. He was alone 1v4 in the back line with the rest of his team zoned. Their front line just shoved off, and so he goes down as well. And since he's the only one with an advantage for Sensei Squad, there's no way they win the fight without him in a position to get DPS. Almost gets Potato X God. Doesn't quite, and now it's sole point for Revenge Nation, as well as a much bigger goal lead than they had previously.
Yeah, they are around the 4.3k gold mark against the Sensei Squad right now, so it is looking quite a bit dicey for Sensei Squad, I have to say, but they do have a couple avenues in order to try to get back into this game. Maybe if Alpha Advance maybe is able to play a little safer against the Camille and not give up a couple of free kills, while looking for picks with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow or Dark Bindings could be a good way to try to get back into this game.
Yeah, and we also see some pretty important item spikes done for Sensei Squad. They have the 2-item Ash with the SM3 for Hurricane. They have Corki with Norman and Triforce. Deadman's is done on set. So they're all pretty strong if they do manage to fight here. Still components working. You do have 2-item Caitlyn, but she doesn't do the best with those until later. Camille isn't quite at Ravenous Hydra yet, so she can't sustain through everything. Galio went Zanya, so he isn't doing as much damage. And finally, Serenity is going supportive Olaf with Knight's Vow Locket. So there's still fights that Sensei Squad can win if they play him right, as they do get Ragnarok out there. Might look to re-engage.
Yeah, TP coming in from Alpha Advance. He looked It looks like the red side of Sensei Squad is going to be going in on this. Potaz goes down, or potatoes, my bad. Goes down early. Serenity is still running away from Water Bear. Water Bear is trying to do advances slow with red buff. And Serenity looked for a turn, but not in a great place with Essence Stalker right there alongside. And it looks like we might see a siege for the mid lane tower once some of these minions come in, or a rotate to Baron.
Yeah, and that was just Revenge Nation Black getting way too antsy and thinking they had more of a lead than they did. Serenity gets caught out without hit and forced to burn his ult. TP came in from Alpha Advance because Black cut him off. They're eventually able to chase down the kills, and with the jungler dead, they're going to go for Baron. And that's going to be a really nice thing if they can get it. They have decent siege with Quirky Ash Folk, but they are going to probably have to turn for a fight because Revenge Nation does not want to give this over for free.
Yeah, they don't want to get this right here. Vanilla is in, trying to do a couple auto attacks. Ooh, Sapachi goes right in deep. Waterbear goes ahead and does that. They steal the Baron away from them, and they're getting a lot of people low. Will I Ever Quit is also getting all the down away from Vanilla. Vanilla picks up the kill is there. Essence Stalker forgot the overkill earlier, but it looks like Advance is going to try to go on to Vanilla, but it looks like it's going to just be in vain. Nothing there. And blue side has been down.
What on earth was that from Sensei Squad? They got the Baron low, they were still doing it, but Water Bear didn't have smite for it. I don't even know what he used it on. Would have been for nothing. It went over, got down low, they couldn't smite it, no one really focused it, trying to get it down. As it was getting low, they kept focusing on Camille. Caitlyn was shooting over the wall. Just really bad target election from Sensei Squad on what they actually wanted to accomplish with it. I'm not sure what Waterbear blew his smite on, but I can only assume it was frivolously. And so they just donate a Baron and so many kills over Revenge Nation with what would have maybe let them turn the game if they would have got it. That was something they 100% should have, except they majorly misplayed it at the end.
Yeah, as Lampshade said in the chat, very elegantly, he stole Baron with a butter knife. Very, very true. Hopefully someone clipped that. I have it over on my phone, but I won't be able to just trim down that clip right now. So if you have that clip, feel free to post it in chat right now. Let's see what can the blue side do with this Baron that they have recently just got leashed for them. They're going to go ahead and look for the dragon right now, since it is soul point. See, ooh, Sapachi going right onto it. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're gonna have to package to get it out of there. Waterbear goes down early, and looks like Side uses the hero's entrance, not really on anything, but will I will put kind of back into the corner. Serenity is stuck in the bind, but won't be able to find more onto Deadshot. And looks like this is going to be a free dragon for the side of Revenge Nation Black.
Sensei Squad is falling apart with their objective control. You're up against Soul Point for the team. They move into the area to contest it, but Maokai wasn't at the front. He was pushing bot lane for the minion wave. They let Caitlyn get her trap set up, and then they just walk along the trap line with 3, including your Corki and your Step, which are 2 of the most important people for a dragon fight. They just kind of waltz along the trap line, eating autos, peacemakers from Caitlyn, until Essence Stalker gets so low that Sapachi just manages to jump on him, get him down, and they completely throw Soul over. They're now 8k down, and Revenge Nation Black is in a very good position to win the game.
Yeah, they are pretty huge right now, honestly. They don't have the Baron anymore, unfortunately, but, you know, having Dragon Soul, and now they're going to be able to start seeing Elder Dragons spawn up, and since they're already pretty strong as is, they'll be able to take control of the area for Elder Dragons and try to start grabbing those, unless they start making some mistakes that Sensei Squad can capitalize on. But right now, it's looking pretty grim for Sensei Squad.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be rough into a Caitlyn with Infernal Soul. Caitlyn's already really good at sieging, and Infernal Soul on top of that, and anytime you step on a trap, you just get chunked for over half your health unless you're full tank. There are a couple of full tanks that even they'll be eating damage. Caitlyn's only going to get stronger from here. You do have a time period where Corki's going to have his Infinity Edge soon. Ash is going to have Infinity Edge, and that's probably going to be their last chance to try and force the fight and get an advantage unless they truly manage to stall out for 40 plus minutes to get to full build. But on the other side, you have the Executioners for Camille. She has Ravenous Hydra done, excuse me. Leandries is done for Galio. So they're going to be looking to take an advantage here. One bright side is that Baron has ran out as they used most of it during the Soul fight. So it's a bit before you have to worry about that, so they'll be able to stall for their Infinity Edge completion. But see what sort of damage Caitlyn does, and that wasn't even a headshot.
Alright. 1 second. I think I got the bullet all trimmed. I added a title. Let me just go ahead and and sorry about that. I'm just gonna be.
Oh, that's a binding into a flash forward from Maokai. He's gonna be able to root the entire backline. No one able to follow him yet as Olaf is zoning him off. He's gonna look forward. They do manage to bring down Maokai, and Revenge Nation Black do manage to get advantage in the fight despite a nice initial pick from Sensei Squad.
Alright, so I can't post it into the chat, sorry guys, but I will post it over into the Get Wrecked Discord, and sorry, what happened? Sorry, I should be paying attention a lot more to this game.
Caitlyn just one-shot the Corki is what happened. Now Water Bear tries to go for it and zone his team off. He's gonna go down instead. Now they're chasing on Will I Ever Quit, and he is about to quit this game as it is going to be ending. And Revenge Nation Black push into the base. They just have their carries too strong, no real way for Sensei Squad to get on the back line, and that's going to be them closing out the game in their favor.
Yeah, well played there for Revenge Nation Black. They're still looking for more. Vanilla still chunking out with huge damages, maybe not on the Maokai, but over the dead shot. Quite putting fear into their eyes. It's great stepping over and trying to pat the stats a little bit before the end of the game, but looks like Revenge Nation Black will be taking the win there. So congrats to Revenge Nation Black. That was good. That was some good League of Legends gameplay there. We saw Sapachi go into Bear Pit, steal that Baron, which was pretty huge in order to deny it away from Sensei Squad. Following that, they went ahead and grabbed the Infernal Drake that led to Soul Point, or that was Soul, and with all of that, we saw a one-shot onto Corki from Caitlyn right there, and yeah, so congrats Red Nation Black, and sorry, and better luck next week for Sensei Squad. Do you have any closers you want to come out with, General Vici, before we go ahead and end for tonight?
Just thanks to everyone who did decide to come out and watch your series. Always one of my favorite parts of the GRLCS is the streams, where we all get to watch our games, see what's going on. And this was just the first week of gameplay, so good luck to everyone in your coming games for those who have them this week. And we will see you all later to stream those as well.
Yep. And one last thing before I go ahead and sign off. Remember, this is September. Subs are, I believe, 20% off. Even bigger discount whenever you go for longer subs. And we're trying to aim for about 20 subs for the Get Rep Club. Whenever you do subscribe over to our Twitch, you also get the club member benefits. So please help us out. Hope we reach the goal, and we will see you guys tomorrow for I should have looked this up earlier, but tomorrow's for
I don't know if there's a stream tomorrow. I think
that you're right.
All the divisions are done now.
Yeah, right. So we'll be back Saturday for our 4 Platinum Division games. So I've been Red Skull Dragon, he's been General Vici, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Don't do it, or if they don't make a good enough